Yellow.
Hi, James. I have Bob Bennett on the line for you.
Bob Bennett?
Ellen?
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Hey, it's James.
Hi, James. How are you?
It's a long time since I saw the Paula Jones, Bill Clinton days, huh?
Never ends, buddy. Never ends.
So what I get the honor of a phone call from the great Mr. Bennett?
Well, you know, I know you've been trying to reach Richard, but this is a difficult time, as I'm sure you appreciate, for him.
For him?
And for others. But, James, what I'd like to do is I think you should work through me on this. I've told Richard I don't want him talking to folks until we get a better sense of what this investigation is.
So you're calling me back for Mr. Bergstrom, is that?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, is he aware of what's going on? Is anybody aware of what's going on in his firm? Is anybody aware of what's going on in my life? My people are being accosted by the FBI. I got subpoenas flying this goddamn place like there's no tomorrow, and I can't get the man that owns it on the telephone. So now, I mean, as great a guy as you are, there's a lawyer calling me. See what you can find out about this Dupuy asshole in this office, and see what you can find out.
And give me a call, and we'll
okay, man.
Get some control of this thing. Okay,
all right, my man.
James, be careful who you talk to now. You know that.
Shit,
we're in the big leagues here now, buddy, and you're an important guy, and there are plenty of people that like to bring you down. Don't you contribute to that by bringing yourself down.
All right, friend.
All right, bye.
Thanks a million. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
I think if a candidate got up and said, you know what, I'm an inside-the-box thinker. Yeah. I'm a product of the Beltway, and I'm proud of it. Because, in fact, in Washington, we know how the government works, and we know what's best for you. Right. And we're going to do it regardless of what you think.
If somebody was running with you, would you go to a neurosurgeon that says, I have absolutely no experience in doing any of this?
That's exactly right.
Would you go to a lawyer if you want?
That's right. You know, my sink is broken, but I don't think I need, like, a plumber to fix it. Right. We get one of our producers, or maybe our director. Maybe he can do it. You know, because ultimately, we all have value as people. You know what I mean?
Even people in the Beltway.
I hate that shit, actually.
All right, man. Well, thank you guys for watching the kids this weekend. We're in Louisiana.
It was excellent.
Huh?
Went to the Halloween parade.
The Halloween parade?
Before we left, Maddie said, I want to dress as my father.
Y'all couldn't
find She actually did. We couldn't find a ball wig. I said, Maddie, you need some dark glasses, which you got to wear, you know, during the day. You got to squint and bark at people. Can you do that? And she said yes.
Tit-tat-tucker, band mother trucker.
Diet Coke.
All right. Let's get fired up. Let's go, Abby. Let's do, huh? A little crossfire.
Ready?
All right. I gotta get off a couple of bucks before we go here, baby, huh? Here we go.
Christie's belching again.
There it is, huh? Is this good work or what? When you have somebody like Abby miking you up, wiring you up, huh? It's my problem. I get too many people wired up around me.
How long till air? Eugene.
Judy's rolling. Sir, what's up?
I don't think there's any way we can avoid doing the investigation story. Your investigation story. There's no way around it. I mean, it's in the Washington Post.
You've got to be shitting me.
Look, I know you don't like it, but we're going to look like we're selling out or protecting you or whatever. I mean, there's just no way around it. I'm going to bring it up right off the top and just throw it right to you and sort of give you a chance to explain it.
Maggie Morris. I don't know if you remember me.
Yeah, good to see you, Maggie.
Senator Nichols. This is my
Mr. Chairman,
partner,
Tom Flanagan. Yeah, Tommy. Good to see you.
We saw obviously the front page of the Post, and we're aware that Chairman Thomas made the conference report public, and I just wanted to know what the you're going to be able to get a conference report your senators will pass.
You know, I wish I knew what the game was. I only see it from my point of view.
Do you think he's just trying to strip this provision from the bill and make it a transportation issue?
Well, that's what he says. But let me tell you, the fact of the matter is that with all these renewable fuels and the tax incentives that are for renewable fuels, just like tax incentives for oil and gas are meant to stimulate production because we need it. We need renewable fuels for the future. And there's been some sort of institutional bias in favor of oil gas in the House that's not in the Senate, and we've got to have renewable fuels for a bipartisan bill. If we bring an energy bill to the Senate floor that doesn't have bipartisan support, it's going to make our Republican president look bad because the president is very much for renewables, and I don't know why you can't get that through the House's head. There's a lot in this for utilities, and I know you're interested in that. And I think what you need to do is there is not going to be an energy bill if there isn't a tax incentives for renewable fuels.
That's it. There's no wiggle room at all? Your feet are, I mean, you're in concrete on this?
Listen, it isn't that I'm in concrete. I've got to deal with the reality of getting a bill through the United States Senate. Now, the House, they can be very partisan and get things done, but that's not how our constitutional system works. We've got to have bipartisanship, and we ought to have bipartisanship, and you can help us develop that bipartisanship. I know that your provisions are good provisions, but it doesn't matter how good they are if we don't get a bill.
What am I going to do? I mean, it's all I can think about. What am I going to do? We saw Grassley today. I didn't hear a word he said. Didn't hear a word he said. His mouth moved. I mean, thank God Tommy was there. If you want to know what happened, you should go ask Tommy, because I don't know.
This is not like you.
I saw a mouth and teeth. That's all I saw.
Well, what's anything else going on? I don't want to, get into your personal life or your PMS cycle or anything like that, but I mean, it can't be this. You're tougher than this.
What do you mean it can't be this? They stopped me running. Of course it's this. Look, you're set. You and James, you have each other. You have book deals. You have your road show. I have nothing. I was happy at the White House.
No.
I was happy there, Mary.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You're
look,
a campaign
this is a great paycheck, but this is not a paycheck that can support an attorney. I don't...
Okay, look, you were fabulous at the White House. You're fabulous on the campaigns. You're fabulous on the Hill. If you want to go, we can call Maria or the Susies. We'll do a sister solidarity thing if you want to. But I don't want you to go.
Who would want me now?
Oh, please.
Look, I'm used to getting my calls returned from senators. Now I walk in restaurants and people go, how are you? Has a different tone to it.
One thing that never changes in this town? Talent. If you got talent, which you do, in enormous quantities, you're always going to be in demand. This will blow over. This is like the '92 campaign. We're snake bit. All this stuff is happening in succession.
Look, this is not about you and me. This is just something that I need, frankly. I said this before. Just let me finish for a minute. We've been married 15 years, and we know everything about each other, almost. I mean, or not even almost, everything. And what's wrong with, I don't know, some privacy? What's wrong with the fact that this is something I do by myself that has no bearing on you or our relationship or how much I love you or the kids or my life with you? It's just something I do.
I mean, I know. I mean, I've been thinking about that, and on principle, I totally agree with that. But when it's you and when it's you and your own husband, it's a very weird thing. And I don't know. I'm just going to have to. I don't know. I have to think about that.
You know what?
I mean, in principle, I do think that, and of course, you deserve some privacy, and of course, people are different, and people have different, pastimes. And I'm cool with that in theory, but I guess I'm still left the way I feel about it.
What?
Hello? I said I guess I'm cool with that in theory, but then I'm left over with the way I feel about it.
I'm scared for you. I saw it happen. I saw it happen in 8 years, all my friends. That's why I stayed clear of it. That's why I stay clear of all of this stuff now. These people will come after you first. Who's watching your back? You're exposed. I mean, there's no bloods in that room, but you. The white boys are not going to protect you. You need to figure out right now if you're going to stay on the street. If you want to come on home, come on back downtown. It's a lot of business downtown. City, look at the city. I mean, we got a new convention city. I mean, the city is ready. You can make a lot of money just doing DC stuff. Seriously, it's DC. We take care of each other. Still chocolate city, despite all these vanillas that keep dropping in. Got some strawberries now. You got to keep your head up and can't walk out with your, you know what, between your legs. They'll make you feel that way. Oh man, this city is full of castrated brothers. And the boys are not going to protect you. They'll just leave you out there. They'll just watch you twist in the wind, and then in the end, I mean, one mistake, one little taint, and you are dead meat. This is a very cruel city when it comes to, once those subpoenas start flying around, one lands on your desk, watch out. You're dead meat. White people can recover. People of color, you just don't recover. It takes years to recover. That's why you need a firm. That's why you need someone out there doing your PR, putting your name back out there, getting re-exposed. You need a profiling jet. You need people to put you back in the afro. I mean, you need to just go home for a couple of weeks in terms of your profile. Meet with members of the caucus, let them know what's going on. We got you. Got your back. I want you to stay strong. What church you going to these days? Come on, man, you need a minister now. That's important for the image. Hey, now, you know, when I went home, the red beans are so good this time. I bought camellias for you, too. You know, the best beans in the city. Yes, indeed, sir.
You want some lunch? Here you go.
It's good, girl.
Salad.
Hello.
That's for your people. All right.
Hey, some chips, honey. Be well. Hey, I need you to register and vote. Okay. All right. Hey, yeah. You a mayor? No, I'm not the mayor yet. You up for mayor? I might be if Francisco work with me. All right. Take care now.
If Bennett calls me and it's me and Bennett, it's totally privileged. We don't have
So if I say to you, if Bergstrom will ask this, what would he say? You can call...
You to me to Bennett, Bennett to Bergstrom, back, and that's privileged.
That's all
Your
privileged.
conversation with me, privileged. My conversation with Bennett, a joint defense privilege.
And Bennett and Bergstrom.
And Bennett and Bergstrom is their attorney.
Now, suppose that, but Bergstrom could say that Carvel's lawyer called my lawyer to ask me this.
There goes our joint defense privilege. The agreement would be, as long as we are in a joint defense, that the conversations would be privileged. They could at any time say, that was fun, goodbye, we're out of here. And, you know, similarly, so can we. We don't know whether they're in our interest or not.
Let me tell you something. I would not trust Bergstrom for nothing.
Well, would he do something to hurt you?
Not unless he thought he could make a penny over it.
And can you think?
Well, not unless he thought it would be to that much of an advantage to him.
And can you think of anything?
He'd slap his grandma if he'd give him a nickel to do it.
No, what the hell? Who's coming out?
No, I don't know. Some bullshit. Oh, fuck.
Did you know he was here?
No, and that's Bergstrom walking right out, a sniveling snake.
Mr. Carville, Mr. Gutman.
Hi, Howard Gutman. How are
Richard
you?
Wells, FBI. Would you like to follow me in?
Mr. Carville, Mr. Wells. Give me. Okay.
Can I just ask my lawyer one more thing before we go in?
Yes, sir. Just
right over
here.
Did you know he was in?
Hell no. What the hell is this? That son of a bitch. And you know this was a setup. They made him walk right in front. They had to shake my shit, and it worked.
Let's go and we'll talk later. Michael, let me just point out, I've asked to see documents. I've asked you to tell me what this is about, and so far we don't know anything. Notwithstanding that, Mr. Carville has agreed to come today. I still think life would make a lot more sense if you would show us some documents. But you've got the witness here, and over my best advice not to. He's here to be cooperative, and I expect you'll find him so.
Well, I certainly appreciate, Mr. Carville, your coming here today. I understand, Howard, your request, and I think as we go along today, I'll be able to show some documents so you'll get a better feel for what this is about, and I certainly want to give Mr. Carville an opportunity to review some documents, take a look at them, and hopefully explain and give us some answers to what's happened here. Just as a couple of preliminary matters, Mr. Carville, as I'm sure Mr. Gutman has told you, you are a subject of this investigation. Your firm is a subject of this investigation. This is a very serious matter. It's a serious criminal investigation. And while we are not here under oath today in the grand jury, Special Agent Wells will be taking notes during the meeting. And there is a separate federal criminal statute that is a felony for lying to federal officials. So I want to make sure you understand that before we begin. I don't have any reason to think you're not going to tell the truth today. I tell that to all witnesses, everyone who comes before me, and I just want to make sure you understand that before we begin. Okay. Why don't we begin with some background? I think it would be helpful for us to understand a little bit about your background, starting with your education. I understand you're a lawyer.
Brazil, working in Argentina, Israel, and wrote some books. And then a couple years ago, I was approached by people in the interest of Mr. Bergstrom about trying to come to work with him and expand this Bergstrom Lowell firm. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years.
So you've been working at Bergstrom Lowell for about 2 years?
That's about right, yes.
And what's your position there? What's your title?
Managing partner, I guess. I could lack of a, it's not the most formal hookup in the world.
Well, let me ask you, you share in the profits of the firm?
I do.
Okay. And you're responsible for bringing in clients to the firm?
I am.
Let me ask you, mentioned you were the managing partner at the firm, that was your title. Does that give you authority to sign various documents and sign checks, other types of transactions at the firm?
It does.
Let me ask you this. Is it fair to say that as the managing partner, you need to at least have a general understanding of the financial flow of funds and how the firm is doing?
Yeah.
As a business, as an ongoing business?
That's correct.
You have a personal interest in that as well, right?
I do.
And your wife also has a personal interest in that, doesn't she?
She does.
Let's assume you find a new client. You bring in a new client. You're responsible for bringing that person in. Do you perform any background check on the new client? Do you do anything to learn about the new client and its bona fides?
Well, I mean, look, as far as I know, everybody we have is upstanding people.
But you do some basic background work on them.
I get, but I mean, I'm not going to say, well, gee, what is this? I don't know if we can take that money or something like that, unless there was some, you know, I guess if Osama bin Laden came through or something, you know.
You wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't.
That would be bad PR, I assume.
Right, that'd be bad PR. And you know, if it was like a big.
You know, we're playing like, guess what I'm thinking about.
No,
Michael,
no,
come
Howard.
on.
I want to know background and what the firm and Mr. Carville does to understand who his clients are. That's what I'm trying to find out. I don't need a monologue. I just want an answer.
Counselor, if they need help and they can pay us and we can help them and we don't have a reason to believe that there's some terribly nefarious people, then we represent them. That's the best answer I can give you. That's an honest, truthful answer.
Okay, let me ask you, let me shift a little bit from the background area. Mr. Carville, are you familiar with an organization called the Council for Middle East Progress?
Yes. Excuse me, go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry.
How do you know about the Council for Middle East Relations? How are you familiar with that organization?
We represent them.
And do you personally represent the council?
Well, I mean, our firm does.
I know your firm does. Are you personally involved with that account?
I am.
Let me ask you about the retainer and the retainer agreement. You said it was about $40,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
How does that compare to retainers paid by other clients of the firm? Is that a high number, a low number?
I'd say it's a good number.
Any other clients that pay more than $40,000 a month?
Well, I mean, there's different ways you can look at it.
Any other clients who have retainer agreements with the firm that are paying more than $40,000 a month. There's only one way I'm looking at it. It's that way.
James, he gets to ask the questions. You get to answer them, so don't let him put words in your mouth. Go ahead.
No.
That's the highest.
Of the retainer clients.
Of the retainer clients. Did you ever undertake any financial transactions for the council?
I don't even know what the heck a financial transaction
I mean, give me an
means.
example. I don't know what I mean.
Let me ask you this. Did you do any, you've listed a whole series of activities. Did they ever ask you to do anything else involving any financial transactions, any money issues, anything at all? Checks, just whatever you think of as a financial transaction. It's a common term.
Michael, we're happy at any time. I don't mean to be rude, but we are happy at any time if you've want to go research a transaction or something, to go do it and to come back. This is a little bit like The Price is Right. He's got to guess what you're thinking.
Well, I'm just trying to get some general background, and I was going to move in now to start talking about some specifics and some documents. Let me just show you this document.
Read the document.
You recognize the initials on that document?
Yes, me.
That's you. You had to approve that transaction?
I did.
And that's what your initials signify, that you're authorizing that transaction.
Means I saw it, means I put my initials on it.
You didn't look at what you signed?
I put my initials on a lot of things. I can't tell you that I don't remember.
You transferred tens of thousands of dollars and you don't?
Well, it wasn't money.
I mean,
well, you know, it was money that was overage, and they just asked us to send the money for them, kind of thing, you know. And I figured, what is it? A good customer, and hell, it, you know, but didn't see me be anything untold about it.
Well,
didn't do anything wrong.
I guess I'm a little confused. If you're paying someone $40,000 a month, how can there be an overage? I mean, that's a nice round number. You know how much you pay each month?
They paid us.
James, you're not the accountant. If you know it, you know it. And if you don't...
Please, Howard. Well, what do you... any other clients?
You know...
Look.
Let me just slow you down. Just give him, you know, I get, there's two sides to the table. We can have this.
Do you need a break? Is that?
No, let me just wait.
If you're having trouble with this, Mr. Carville, we can.
Let me just talk a minute, okay? You asked the man to come here. He's involved in everything under the sun. You don't tell us what clients. You don't have us review records in advance. You pick a client that you know out of the air with a particular transaction of some wire transfer, who knows what, from where on this guy's day, and then you look to pin him down, and we haven't reviewed the transaction. You know, there's right ways to do this and there's wrong ways. You could have called me and said you want to know about the Center for who knows what, and we would have looked it up and talked to you about it.
I understand completely. We're here. Mr. Carville came in voluntarily. We appreciate him coming in, and I just want to get some answers as to what happened during this transaction.
Let me just say some things, and yell at me. I've done this for 20 years, so you've yelled at me before, and you'll yell at me again. Perhaps perhaps we shouldn't have been here to start with, but that wasn't my call. But I'm at least a good enough lawyer to know that once you've got a transaction that he's only seen one document, we haven't had a chance to review, we haven't had a chance to look at this, we haven't talked to the accountants, that there's a right way and a wrong way to do this. We're going to educate ourselves on this transaction. If you have others you'd like to move on to other subject areas, we're happy to hear it. If you'd like to know more general about the firm, you want to know about him, you have something else. If you have another topic area, we'll go research that. But I'm not going to have him answer more questions now on the Center for Mideast Progress.
Let me ask you, Mr. Carville, you're not going to answer any more questions about the center?
No, sir.
Michael, I think we've reached the end. Michael, let me say this.
Well, Mr. Carville, if you have anything else that you want to explain to me, I'd certainly here to get information from you. So this is a matter that's very serious, as you might be able to tell. It's a matter that involves your firm, that involves you, that involves your partners. And we're here today to give you an opportunity to explain what these transactions are, why they were undertaken, and what they mean.
You know, Michael,
and I'd much rather hear it from you, Mr. Carville, than hear about these transactions from your friends, from your colleagues, from your employees. That's why we're here.
This isn't his marriage. Speak now or forever hold your peace. He is a professional. He'll answer your questions. We'll get back to you. I'm sure we'll have a subpoena. We'll get back to you. But cold, when he's been doing this long, and ask him about some wire transfer that he signed, returning money for a client.
A wire transfer for a substantial amount of money, what sounds like the only time this has happened in his business. I don't think it's unfair to ask him about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. That's fine. This investigation's going forward. We will find out the information, and however we learn about it, we will learn about it. And I'm certainly be happy to hear about it from you, Mr. Carville, but like I said, we will find out the information, and if we need to find out about it from friends and others at the firm, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, like
and I appreciate your coming in today.
Francisco Dupuy.
Michael, I appreciate it. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
Hey, it's a real pleasure.
Mr. Gutman, pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you, James.
I'd like to dedicate this one to my producer, Tommy Rowe.
I love Jimmy Buxton.